Henri Matisse, Drawing with Scissors, by Keisa Johnson and Jane O'Connor, illustrated by Jessie Hartland. Henri Matisse, Drawing with Scissors, by Jane O'Connor, illustrated by Jessie Hartland. For Barbara, an art lover, and a great friend, J.O.C. For Sam, my favorite little artist, J.H. From the desk of Miss Brandt. Dear class, our unit on famous artists is almost over. I hope that you enjoyed it as much as I did. I am excited to read your reports. Here are some questions that you may want to think about. Why did you pick your artist? If you could ask your artist 3 questions, what would they be? Did you learn anything that really surprised you? Good luck and have fun, Miss Brandt. My artist Henri Matisse was born on New Year's Eve. So was I. That's why I chose him for my report. It is weird to have your birthday on December 31. I wonder if Henri Matisse got sick of people saying Happy New Year instead of Happy Birthday. I do. My grandfather sent me this card on my birthday. The picture is by Henri Matisse. I like the colors. They are so bright. Henri was born in 1869. That is 125 years before me. He grew up in a small town in France. His parents ran a general store. His father wanted Henri to become a lawyer. Henri worked in a law office for a while, but he was bored. He drew flowers on the law papers. Then when he was 20, Henri got very sick. He had to stay in bed for a long time. His mother gave him a set of paints to pass the time. That was it for Henri. From then on, he knew he wanted to be a painter. His father said, "You'll starve." But when he got better, Henri went to Paris anyway to become an artist. Henri painted this picture in 1890 when he was 20. You can tell exactly what everything is. The colors are dark, practically all browns and greens. This is the way art students were taught to paint. Henri made this picture in 1953 when he was 83. It is made from paper cutouts. I had no idea what it was supposed to be until I saw the title. Try to guess what it is. I wrote the answer upside down at the bottom of the page. The colors are so bright. Henri's art sure changed a lot from when he was a young artist. It's a snail. Henri went to art school in Paris. He didn't like the teachers at his first school, so he went to a different art school. There he had a great teacher who told him to try using his imagination more. Henri began to study what artists of the day, such as Claude Monet and Paul Cézanne, were doing. They were painting in a new way. They were using brighter colors and bigger brush strokes. Henri's paintings started to change. He did this painting in 1896 when he was 26. It looks more like the Cézanne painting. It is a still life painting. That means it is a picture of things, like fruit and flowers, instead of being a picture of people or a landscape. Henri was starting to paint with loose brushstrokes and use brighter colors. Henri became friends with 2 young artists named André Derain and Maurice de Vlaminck. He and his friends started painting with weird colors. They didn't care about making things look real. Henri said that he wanted to make colors sing without paying attention to rules and regulations. In 1905, they had an art show together. People were shocked. They said that the pictures looked like wild beasts had painted them. Henri and his friends didn't mind. They started to call themselves the Fauves. That's French for wild beasts. This is Henri's wife, Amelia. She is wearing a hat, but to me it looks like a heavy bowl of fruit is sitting on her head. The colors are strange. Her face is yellow and blue-green. Her neck is orange. Henri only painted like a fauve for a few years. Then he decided he didn't like his style anymore. Henri also had a hard time sleeping because he worried so much about his art. He would wake up Amelia in the middle of the night and make her go for a long walk. Henri's art was the most important thing to him, even more important than his family at dinner. Miss Matisse would ask the children to be quiet because their father was thinking about his latest painting. By the time he was 40, Henri was famous. There were art shows featuring his work. People bought lots of his paintings. His family moved into a nice house outside Paris. Henri also liked to travel. He especially liked hot, sunny places by the sea. Henri loved to paint the colors of the water and the flowers and the trees. He was interested in how sunlight looked different at different countries. Henri first went to North Africa in 1905. In 1912 and 1913, Henri took 2 long trips to Morocco. He loved it. Staying in Africa changed how he painted. His pictures look calm and happy. The colors look like they are full of light. This is a painting of a young girl named Zora. She is Moroccan. You can tell from her clothes. I read that Henri was hardly ever satisfied with what he did the first time around. He was always making changes and painting over things. I think that's what he did with Zora's hands. I think all the shades of blue in this picture are beautiful. I counted 5 different blues. I bet if I saw the real painting, there would be even more. Henri painted lots of pictures with windows in them. You feel as if you are inside the room, looking at what's outside. As he got older, Henri was often sick. He now lived in southern France by the sea, where the weather was mild and sunny. In 1941, Henri had to have a big operation. He had cancer. He was 71 and nearly died. Henri had to stay in bed for a long time, but he felt very lucky to be alive. He said, "Every day that dawns is a gift to me." Henri had trouble painting because he couldn't stand up for long periods of time, so he cut out paper shapes, lots and lots and lots of them. He called it drawing with scissors. Here is how Henri made his cutouts. First, Henri's assistants painted sheets of papers in all the colors Henri liked. Then Henri cut out shapes. Henri and his assistants pinned the cutouts on the walls of his studio. This way he could see how they looked together. Henri would keep cutting out more shapes and keep changing the arrangement until finally he was satisfied with how everything looked. The last step was to paste the cutouts down on paper. I have a leaf collection. I love their shapes and colors. I made some cutout leaves too. Cutting is hard work. Your hands get tired. I read that Henri played the violin for 2 hours every day. He loved music, but he also did it to give his hands a workout. Henri's picture looks simple, but now I know it wasn't like everything Henri did. It took lots of work. When he was 73, Henri made 20 cutout pictures for a book that he wrote called Jazz. The picture that my grandpa sent me on my birthday was in the book. I saw a copy of the book at the library. The words are all in Henri's own handwriting. They're in French. The book is not about jazz music at all. It's about Henri's feelings about being an artist. When he was 80 years old, Henri worked on something he had never done before. It wasn't a painting or a book or paper cutouts. It was a whole little church. It was going to be built in France, not far from where he lived. Henri decided what everything would look like. He designed the building. He made the designs for the stained glass windows. He did the drawings on the walls. He even designed the clothes for the priests. He did it because he was a good friend of one of the nuns. She had been his nurse when he was very sick. This was Henri's way of saying thank you. Henri was old and sick, but he kept on working. His daughter said that Henri worked right up to the day he died. People say that some of his last cutout pictures are his greatest. Henri died on November 5th, 1954. He was almost 85 years old. He had been an artist for more than 60 years. He made paintings, sculptures, drawings, costumes for ballets, cutouts, books, and even stained glass windows. Henri was hardly ever happy with his art, but he hoped that it made other people feel happy. It does. If I met Henri, I would ask him, 1. Why did you call your book Jazz? Do you like jazz? 2. Did you listen to music while you painted? 3. Did you have fun being a faux? Merci, Kesia, for your report. It is great. It is too bad that Henri was not a happier person, because his art certainly makes people feel happy. Did you know that he was friends with Pablo Picasso? Henri and Picasso are considered the 2 greatest artists of the 20th century. Miss Brandt.